sunshine is so good.
Welcome to the first day of December, my beautiful friends. Hippocrates once wrote, if you're in a bad mood, go for a walk. If you're still in a bad mood, go for another walk. Henry David Thoreau famously wrote, I took a walk in the woods and came out taller than the trees. Even though the weather is getting chillier and chillier, I am making sure I get out, and I try and do every single day. Sometimes I miss a day, but trying to get out there to take my daily walks for my mental health and my physical health. But really, it's more about my mental health right now. And I feel very sure that those famous men who wrote those beautiful quotes would agree that just as important as walking is thrifting. All right, they may not agree with that, but I think that thrifting is very good for your mental health. It's just so fun looking through racks and seeing what you can come up with, and I especially love when stores have their racks out on the street. It just makes for a really fun time window shopping. You don't even have to go inside to do some shopping right there, and this particular consignment store always has such fun things.
There you go with my jacket. Daily walk.
Daily walk. Doing the daily walk.
Daily walk.
Daily walk. I need to do it too.
We need to get happy.
We started our little walk at 3:45, which is basically nighttime now, and it gets dark so quickly that it's good to be in pairs for safety, but also so that you can enjoy laughing and catching up on everything going on in life.
Hey, buddy. Oh, you're so handsome. I'm totally gonna blame Charlie for me not getting up this evening. I sat down at like 6:45 to eat dinner, and then he curled up on my lap. And now I just can't get up. I really had every intention of not vegging out in the evenings, but it's dark, it's rainy. I don't technically have anything I have to do right now. And it just feels so good just cuddled up here. And as you can see, I've got my fake fireplace going. And I gotta say, it really does the trick, the fake fireplace. It makes me feel like I've got a little fire going across the way. At the very least, I have to get up and put away all the food, because I tend to do all my chopping of veggies and all the food preparation. Then I sit down and eat, and then I don't feel like getting up to clean. But I've got to. But it's just so cozy here. Maybe I just need to lean into it. And when the days start getting longer, which I think is what the end of December, we make that turn, maybe then I'll start trying to be productive again in the evenings. I got off the sofa because what I should be working on is my paintings here. I've been working on just abstract acrylics, and I'm loving abstract because you just put whatever your hand wants to do down on the paper, and then it dries, and then if you want to change it, you can. Since I'm working with acrylic, it dries quickly. But I've been leaving these out and just kind of each time they dry, coming back through and adding in more. Wishing I could take away some. I went a little too much on this guy, but it's okay. Whatever, it's fine. It used to be for me that around January, the winter blues would start to kind of creep in, but they're creeping in earlier and earlier these days. So I remembered to bring out my sun lamp, which was a recommendation a few years ago from a friend, and I absolutely love it. I cannot sit right in front of it and stare at it like some people can do. That gives me an instant headache, but just having it on while I'm doing the dishes or cooking in the kitchen for 15 minutes without looking straight at it makes a huge difference.
As I shared a few videos ago, I'm working really hard right now to calm down anxiety that is just raging through my body. That's the only way I know how to describe it. It feels like it's just been taking over and raging through my body. And someone once explained to me that anxiety is fears about the future, really. So I've been working hard to just put my fears to paper. That's an exercise that I read about, and I'm trying it every single day, sitting down and writing out my fears. And let me tell you, they come pouring out onto paper, which must mean that they are a little backed up and in fact do need to come on out. I then either take the paper and burn it in the sink, or if I'm having a fire, I dump it right in there and watch it burn. And it is definitely a therapeutic feeling to watch those words just burn right up. And then to just look up and watch the smoke as it disappears, and I imagine all my fears disappearing with it. Obviously, I won't be sharing my actual fears on paper here with you, but really at the root of it all is just lots of fears that have built up and they need to come out. Most of them really aren't even realistic because most of the times the things we're fearing most never even happen. I've been loving my real fires outside and my fake little fireplace inside in the evenings.
I waited until Monday to go pick up something in the store because I needed a new black sweater. Found one on Kohl's Thursday night. It was on clearance, or Black Friday sales for like $9.99. Ordered it. It was a pickup item, but I waited until today because I knew if I went into the store before today, there would be all the sales they put right at the front door. And I knew I wouldn't be able to resist. So I'm working really hard to be super budget conscious because we're going into winter and I don't make a lot of money in the winter, so I have to be really careful. But I also have a craft project that I really want to do. I've been so enjoying doing just like a simple little craft project every week. So I have to pick up some little oranges, some little clementines to make this fun craft project. And I've got my shopping partner with me today. Okay, I'm gonna have to find somewhere to stop and film this sky because it's beautiful. Wow. The sun's out, but we're supposed to get a big temperature drop this afternoon, which I can't say I'm excited about. I just broke my GoPro. GoPro, if you're watching, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I am using the GoPro 10, which I got maybe 2 years ago. Yeah, about 2 years ago. It cracked like within, I don't know, a month of me owning it. I was on a Karina photo shoot. I set it down on the ground on the tripod. Someone knocked it over. Not hard. They walked by and knocked it over. And the whole back screen cracked. Which I was just like, GoPros are designed for like hardcore usage. They're designed to go underwater. They're designed to go like, they're more for people doing like activities, not necessarily people like myself who are just out in nature and, filming very light types of activities. I'm certainly not doing anything hardcore. So yeah, the fact that I'm breaking the GoPro is not a good sign. And I think I like using the GoPro because it's so easy. It's such an easy portable little thing to take around. And I think it does really good, the quality of the film, considering it's this big. So I'm not going to switch because of that. Like that's to me. And my biggest pet peeve with video, and you can't avoid it sometimes, but just shake. Like if people are shaky when you're watching them, that's one of my biggest pet peeves. And if I have a clip where it's very shaky, I often just won't use it because it bothers me to see it. And the GoPro is pretty great with stabilization because it is meant for things like mountain biking and skiing. And so me sitting here holding it, it stays pretty stable, even when I'm walking and things like that. So I'm happy with it for that. But I had a GoPro, I don't know what number it was. I think it was my first GoPro. I had it for a long time and I loved it. And I never once had a problem with it. I dropped it. I did all kinds of stuff to it and it hung in there. So I think that this series that I have right now is just not that great. It stinks because there are 2 things that I had identified that I really feel like would help make my videos better, but they're a little bit expensive, as photography things always are. So yeah, that's where I wanted to be saving my money for those things. But my GoPro is like my everyday camera that I use. It's like my staple, so it has to be good. So the GoPro, I'm not happy with you if you're watching, which I know you're not. And actually my good GoPro that I had loved, that had never once gave me, because this GoPro also, the battery dies all the time, like quickly. It like stops recording sometimes. It's just, this series has not been good, the 10. If people do ask me like which I'm shooting with, and I'm shooting with a GoPro. This is the 10 black, and I wouldn't recommend the 10 black. I don't know which one I had before, but it never gave me any problems. So I think this is just kind of not the best one. So maybe avoid the 10 if you're shopping. They still have the 10, and then they have an 11 and a 12, but I would maybe avoid the 10. At least that's what I would say. But my GoPro that I had before that I loved, I lost it in the Pacific Ocean. It broke my heart. I had spent a day at Big Sur. I was doing photo shoots out in San Francisco. I had a day off, drove down to Big Sur. I had never been. Obviously was like enamored and in love. I wasn't doing YouTube at that point, but I was doing my personal video project where I was just filming beautiful things and making a video every month of my beautiful world. And so obviously going through Big Sur, I was just like, oh, this is the most beautiful place ever. And I took so much footage and I was just so happy. And then I stopped on my way back. I stopped at the last beach, put the camera down to take a picture of, or to take a video of myself walking along the shore, and the waves were huge, and I wanted to show how huge they were compared to me, and the camera was way back, but suddenly a huge wave came in. I mean, it was so big and so like unexpected. Grabbed the camera and it started pulling it out, obviously, and I love to swim, so I have no problem swimming, and I ran out to get it, but then I felt how strong the water was. I've actually never stood in water that strong, so I let it go. I stayed on the beach for probably an hour thinking it's going to come back up. For sure it's going to come back up because, you know, with all that pressure coming in with the waves. So probably someone in China is using my GoPro right now because that one was really good. So it probably lasted no problem in the ocean for however long before someone found it. But anyway, let me go get my sweater and Kohl's now.
I have seen this fun, sweet little craft project pop up on my Instagram feed over and over again, enough times that I finally decided I want to do it. It's little mushrooms that you make out of orange peels, and you start by just drying them out. I set my oven at 200. Some people say it takes about an hour. It took me about 3 hours for them to be completely dry, but that's important so that they don't mold. I have been just really drawn to very kind of youthful craft projects lately, projects that people of any age could do. They don't take any kind of special skills, and there's something very relaxing and soothing about that for me at this point, because I think some of my anxieties are tied to being a bit of a perfectionist. I know that's a problem that I've been working on for a long time, so projects that don't need any type of perfection to make it fun, even if you're doing it by candlelight and really can't see what you're doing, that is exactly what I need so that the experience of the project is the real part that I'm enjoying, not necessarily the end result. Although these did turn out really, really cute. I glue gunned some little pieces of stick that I also had dried out in the oven to make the little mushroom leg or whatever you call that, and then I went ahead and tied it onto some twine and hung them up, and they were just adorable.
Aww, they're so cute. So cute. What do you think, Char? You like them? They look like real little mushrooms. I'm gonna put it right up here. Makes me happy to see my little boho bag. And of course, always makes me happy to get food. I'm gonna go make some oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. It's my favorite winter thing. No sugar added except for, of course, except for the chocolate chips. They have sugar, but not that much. And they're the one thing I let myself have. Since I'm not having sugar and anything else, I still let myself have chocolate chips and things when I want to. So let's go make them.
I like making my own oat flour for cookies. So this is about 2 cups of ground oats, and then I add a few non-ground oats in as well, with some olive oil, a little salt, a little dash of vanilla, some baking soda, and then 2 eggs. And that's about it for the dough. It's such an easy dough to put together. You do not end up tasting the olive oil. You could use probably any other kind of oil too, but I usually have olive oil on hand. So I then add in a heaping amount of chocolate chips because there is no other sugar or anything else to sweeten the dough. But the chocolate chips, of course, are the star of the show. These definitely don't come out looking like or tasting like maybe your average chocolate chip cookie. They tend to stay in their shape as they bake, so they come out as round little cookie balls. But considering they don't have any sugars besides the chocolate chips, they definitely get the job done.
All right, so technically I made these for a little dinner party tonight, but this is my second one. They're so good. I put a lot of chocolate chips in, that's why they're so good. But I don't feel like you need the sugar when you have all these chocolate chips. And I feel like oat is really sweet to begin with. I mean, I know I've gotten used to eating this way, but I feel like because I took away refined sugar, except for chocolate, in June. So it's been a while, but I almost feel like if there was sugar in these cookies on top of the chocolate chips, it would be overkill. But without the sugar and then just the chocolate chips. So good.
I've got my cookies. Charlie has his sticks. We're both happy campers here at the little Boho cottage. This little dog makes me laugh and makes me so happy. I'm so glad he's here with me. And I hope that whatever it takes to make you super happy this weekend, you get to do, and that you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.